Hello everybody. Welcome to the virtual first Thursday of the month. Um, I'm Oz, and this is Chris with the ball and skein, and we are ecstatic to bring you this month's featured Manos yarn, which is Manos Maxima, presented by our very own Belle. Hey, that is
Hi,
you. That is you.
that's me.
Take it away, Belle.
Okay, so welcome. Hello. This is actually, I was the first one to start off. This is just one rack, top to bottom. It is all Maxima. We have a full other rack, top to bottom, that is Maxima, but it's attached to something, so I couldn't roll it over here. I wanted to show you all of them. This rack has mostly their space dyed. You can see all the fun different colors playing with mixes and stuff. The other one is all of their semi-solids. We've got a little carryover of the semi-solids, and then the rest of them are on the other rack. And they've got just a huge selection of color. And I think it's safe to say that Maxima is everyone in the shop's secret favorite yarn, because it is just really, really nice. It's squishy. It's worsted weight, so it knits up really quick. It's very satisfying. It comes in 218 yards of skein, which is the standard skein weight. And I was going to say it's $20 for skein, but that's about to go up a little bit. So um, I, that is not the price going forward in the future. Sorry. But you can easily make a very affordable, very high quality, single ply merino um, garment or accessory that is gorgeous and will last you a very long time. It's delicious yarn. It is it's single ply, and it is non-superwash. So one of my favorite things to do with Maxima as well is to spit splice it. So that's where you take one end and you kind of fluff it up, and you take the end of your new skein and you fluff it up, and you can spit splice them on it and roll them together. And it's like the join was never there. So you just keep going on, and perfect seam, no ends to weave in the middle of your project. So that's kind of satisfying as well. And you just keep going, and it disappears like magic.
That's a
Um,
great feature. You're right.
yeah, I really like that about it, because a lot of times single ply yarns, I'm like, oh, but I can't do my favorite, which is the Russian join, because you have to use plied yarn to do a Russian join. But because it's a non-superwash, you can felt it, which also means this is a feltable yarn. It's merino, so it's actually a little, it's it felts, but it's almost a little too soft to felt readily. So you might have to give it a couple goes, because it's just so soft and it doesn't want to, cling together. But it does felt beautifully. There's all these fun colors to play with your felting projects. So it's great. So it's anywhere from felted bags to accessories to sweaters you can make with Maxima. There's so many worsted weight patterns out there, again, because it's such a great weight yarn, the worsted weight, also known as like a size 4. You're going to knit that on 7 to 8 crochet. Is probably going to be a 5 to 6 millimeter, depending on your own personal gauge. So these are really fast pieces, very enjoyable. Working with it is so nice. It's like butter. It really is. Because we don't have a crochet model this time, I brought in what I'm currently working on, which we did kits for these out of the Skacel Sueño. This is the Grandin Green wrap, but I did mine out of Maxima. I'm not finished yet, but I wanted to get far enough that you could see.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. And one of the things, as always, this is the Maxima. Oh, look, that might be where my spit splice is. It's a little chunky. That's okay. You've got that lovely semi-solid coloring. So it's not this flat, solid color. You've got these tiny variations in here. And this is the zinnia color, my favorite. We're actually out of it at the moment. but it's a beautiful, perfect red orange, and I love it. So that's the Grandin green wrap. I modified mine slightly to make it a little bit bigger, but it looks like it still will probably only take me 5 skeins, maybe 6. If you were to follow the pattern exactly, you'd probably do it in 5 skeins. And so we have, I think we might only have kits on the website, but we can find the pattern for you, definitely.
I was just going to look that up.
Yeah, I know we did kits for it. I didn't know if we had the pattern sold separate, but we can get you the pattern sold separate.
You're right. We don't. I don't have the pattern on the website. We can add that.
Yeah, no worries. So if you're looking for a crochet project with the Maxima, that is really fun. I'm having a great time. It's beautiful. It holds, I really like this stitch right here. It's a wrapped double crochet. And what's nice about the non-superwash, like I said, it's merino, so it doesn't have a whole lot of grip, but it's got some grip. So it holds these stitches really well, and you don't get it sliding up your post. I think if
Show
you're
an image on the website of what the piece looks like.
there we go.
Do that.
Starting with crochet because that's my favorite right now. So yeah, that's the Grandin green wrap. And I just thought it's super simple, but it's kind of stunning and classic. It's a nice piece. The only modifications I did was I did one small repeat wider, which was really only 6 stitches. And then the back post half double crochets, that kind of more solid looking area, I did 2 more rows. Those are the only changes I made, but they will eat extra yardage. So I might end up, like I said, I might end up with 6 skeins. 5 skeins should do you for the standard pattern.
Connor?
I think
What
that'll.
was your reason for changing?
Because honestly, Linda, I think I'm just a rebel and I can never follow the directions very well. But in more serious answer, I think for me, the way it was coming out, I thought the balance of the width of the sections looked better if I added 2 more rows of half double crochet.
Okay.
For those solid sections. I thought it just balanced a little better with the wrapped double crochet sections. And for the most part, wide rectangular wraps, they can't be too wide for me. Like I said, I only added a tiny little bit. I think maybe it adds 2 inches to the wrap, but I wanted to go ahead and make it a touch wider. I think the pattern standard is about 21 inches wide, and mine's going to be about 23 inches wide. So these are all the amazing colors of Maxima that you can make this wrap and all the other models I brought in. Like I said, I think this is a secret favorite. So I brought in a ton of models for this one because they're all really nice and I like them.
It's true. And the other fun thing about Maxima that I didn't know is that Maxima was designed specifically for the American market.
Ah.
Because in the UK and most of the world, people knit with Aran weight yarn, which is a little heavier than worsted. It's typically like 16 stitches to 4 inches.
Yeah, and this one, they're listing it at 18 to 20.
18 to 20. So they created Maxima specifically for the US market because it was an affordable, soft merino in a worsted weight. Oh, and Rosanna and Arla asked, what does non-superwash means? That means you can't throw it in the washing machine.
Yeah, it will felt on you. Definitely a hand wash. Unless you want to felt it.
Right.
So yeah, this is definitely a hand wash piece. So let's start with this one. I loved this super simple cowl. This is the Frieza, which I believe is strawberry in Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Because it's close to the French for strawberry, so that was my guess. It's 2 skeins, and I just really like the size of it. It's nice and deep and wide. It takes 2 skeins. I think I already said that. Very simple stitching though. You've got this very nice garter border on each end. And this is just a yarn over and knit togethers in the middle with stockinette. And so you're working in the round, so these stockinette rows will be, you know, nice mindless knitting. And then these aren't tricky either. You just gotta, you know, pay attention to what you're doing. So it's simple and super cozy.
And
so
I'll
you've
show
got-
that, and that pattern is on our website
Yes.
called Fresa, F-R-E-S-A.
Mm-hmm. Just cozy. I like it a lot. Let's continue with the accessories. I made kits for this one. This is the other cowl. This one is called Coin. This one takes 3 different skeins because you're playing with color. You've got these great diagonals, simple stockinette, but you're playing with fun diagonals and color play. And then I think this is kind of fun. It's like a little notch for your chin or your neck. But I think mostly they're just playing with the shapes and diagonals of it all. And we made kits for this one. This one's a little closer, so it's not quite as large and drapey, but it's still nice and deep. I like that depth. Because then when it sits on your neck and bunches up, you've still got high coverage. And so we played with kits. I put together a few kits for that one. We figured out we can name the kits again, so I got to get back to naming them. These ones don't have any fun names yet, though. That's the original color. I love this one. This one's fun and spunky, very sunny. I thought this one was really pretty. That pink pop with those nice blues and that kind of periwinkle color. Go with any pair of jeans.
Yeah, it's a very striking one.
Yeah, this one is a limited set because I could not resist. That bottom color is called Flurry. There's another color we could swap it out for. I believe it's called Cumulus. I'd have to double check. But there's a subtle nuance about this Flurry color that just I thought went perfectly with this these other 2 yarns, that bright pop pink and that pewter on top. So we've got 2 of those. There's only 2 Flurry skeins left, I believe. So those will go quick. Beyond that, like I said, we can swap that lighter blue out for another one. I like this one a lot. These are my colors.
That's
So
your orange.
yes, my orange. That top one is called, I believe that's the Madder. Is that the Madder or the Cherry Wood? I have a whole shawl out of that
Cherry
color.
wood.
Is it? Oh yes, it's cherry wood because it's called cherry. So yeah, oh, it's pretty. And we got some of those nice green, kind of fall colors going on with this one. That Leo is really nice. Another one we're currently out of stock of, but it's a beautiful golden color.
But if you order them now, you know we placed a Jagundo order. So hopefully it'll be here in about a week.
Yeah. But these yarns and these colors are worth the wait, so nobody minds.
That's right. And as always, the kits, you just go under kits, under Manos, and that's where you'll find them.
While we're there, or I guess we'll pop out anyway. But I'll go ahead and do the other one I did quick kits for. And this is called the Rise and Run. There we go, kind of. This is an entrelac pattern. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with entrelac. But it's one of those where you kind of pick up stitches along a block. You make a little block and then you pick up stitches. And so you're kind of piecemeal going along and making your scarf. It's not hard. It's just a little fiddly, I think, at times. but it makes a very striking piece, especially when you play with the colors like this. I also like the length of it. So you can have a nice kind of drape down the inside of your jacket, or you could even loop it twice for extra coziness. And it's really cool. So you play with those stripes. So I made a few kits for these. Again, endless possibilities. But I did put together a couple. That's the original one. Oh yeah, I did call this one Frog Prince because the purple is called Prince and the green is called Kermit. So how can you resist that one?
And it says frog prink because we ran out of space for the E.
Okay, so all my future names need to be no longer than that many characters.
They have to be shorter, right?
Okay,
Take the space out of it.
there you go.
Yeah, we could do that.
One word. And
Right.
then you put so you don't have your prink.
That's a good idea.
So here's a marble.
Really.
I would do the top skein is going to be your background color, and that purple is going to be your pop color. And it's kind of hard to see in this skein, but that marble has some really pale pinks and purple tinted grays in it. So that purple, that bright dark purple, I think will go really well with the marble. It's called Fruits because that skein on top is called Fruits of the Forest. It's got a whole bunch of deep, rich colors in there. And I thought the olive, this new color, and I'm not a green person, but their new olive color is so rich and great. I was tempted to put it with several different colors. So I think that will really pop against the other ones. Makes me think of orchids.
It is a gorgeous color.
Yeah. Rainforest. This one's kind of light and airy and fun. It's a little pastel-y, so it's not super bright and 80s pop. It's just kind of happy and fun and light. And then Nantucket, again, going for some of those rich, deep colors. And then that cherry wood will contrast nicely to a lot of the colors in the Nantucket. Hi, puppy. So that's the Rise and Run cowl. Very nice.
And that pattern, the Rise and Run, is on our website. It just didn't show up on that kit. I'm not sure why, but it's on there. And it's actually a free pattern.
Yeah.
So if you do a search on our website for Rise and Run, it'll pop out and you can just order it. And we'll just send you the link to download your very own copy.
Even Manos actually did that same Rise and Run cowl in their Alegria, Alegria Grande. Alegria Grande is also worsted weight. So they did a version that they did in Maxima and in Alegria Grande. And yeah, it's just really fun way to play with color, and it's beautiful. And a lot of folks find entrelac very striking. And like I said, it's not tricky to make. It just looks complicated, but. So now we've got a whole bunch of garments that I'm really excited about. And not just because they're Maxima, that is a great part, because they're cozy and they're soft and they're squishy. But the lines of all of these, the shapes and styles of them, I think are really fun. So this one is called Chadwick. Oh, you're really not going to be able to see that. No, but it's called Chadwick. And what I like about this one, and there's another one too that you'll see, has this kind of very simple all over patterning. And that's just knits and purls. And so it's this texture that adds to that depth of Maxima's semi-solid colors. And so it's not plain, boring stockinette, but it's also fairly mindless. And it's just a simple backdrop for a very clean lined classic piece. Let's see if I can tilt it down a bit more. Because I just really like how straight and cozy it is. Very simple, but you've got these great little sleeve details like the collar here, we've got these slip stitches. You've got built-in pockets.
Yay,
And what
pockets.
yeah, you can't go wrong with pockets. And what I think is cool is they lined the pocket up with their bottom waistband. Why can't I think of the word? Your bottom ribbing there, it lines up with the top of the pocket. There you go.
Yeah, that's just great. That's a great detail.
Yeah, so I think it just really, it's a very clean look. So even though it's got all this texture, it's simple texture. So it's not overly distracting. It's clean, it's straightforward, it's cozy. You've got this nice big collar that seams in the back.
I can show that on our website too. Because yes, that pattern is available on the website. And you can see some of that details.
Yeah. I think this is a simple enough pattern that you could do it in the variegated yarns. But I think what makes it so successful is that it is in one of the semi-solids. So even though you won't lose much of anything by doing it in the variegated, because there's not a whole lot going on, I still think it looks simplified and clean and classic in one of the solid colors. So that's a Chadwick. Here's another one that's been very popular in the shop before. Bouvier. Can you see it? Yeah. Again, here we have another very simple all over pattern.
And that's from the same designer as well.
Ah, she's got a style. And pockets, 2 little pockets. So this one is more of a tunic piece. I also really like this kind of rolled double thickness collar, and it kind of stands up, which gives it a finished look. So this piece is going to go a little farther down. It's not really a sweater so much, I think, as a bit more of a tunic. So you've got that nice standing collar, nice and cozy, add a little extra warmth. Great length. If it doesn't completely cover your bum, it'll go over most of it. These fun little pockets. Again, they're seamless. So that's where, you know, you kind of knit along. You're going to put these on waste yarn and then cast on up here, and then you'll go down in here. Well, there's a couple different ways to do inset pockets. But those are very simple too, and they're clean and finished on the front. I've also seen folks, when they pick up their stitches to knit the inside, they'll do a contrast color. So it's like a little peekaboo pocket.
Oh, that's neat. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So this one's very nice. I like this piece. The lines, the shape of it, the way it's put together. It's a classic piece. Again, you could do it in the variegates.
Yeah, that one in particular, I was thinking you probably could.
Yeah, this one more so than the other one, I think I'd be willing to do in a variegate, because you do just have more of a blank slate with this one. And that texture will just add more depth to your variegation. I think it'll also help break it up a little bit, almost like a linen stitch, you know, it kind of breaks it up a bit. So that's the Bouvier. This one is fun. So this is, I went with a lot of pullovers this time because they have beautiful pullovers in the Maxima. Bonsal? Bonsal?
UNSAIL.
LL? AL. Or ALL. So what's neat about this, one, I love the neckline. And I love the little detail along the neckline. The way they did the kind of full fashioned decreases there.
So did we lose you?
Oh, can you not hear me?
Oh yeah, I can't hear you, Belle.
Oh,
I can hear you fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you fine too.
Well, yeah, we've lost you.
uh-oh.
Or I
You
can't
put
hear
it-
you.
Yeah, it's just on your end.
Oh, there it is. Never mind. It was on
I
mine.
hear you.
Oh no. So yes, here's I'll just show it again. There we go. Kind of clear.
And so
Focus.
that everybody knows, in chat, I'm putting in the names of these patterns as well.
So you've got this classic shaping, very nice neck. I love how it's a slight V in the front, which is very flattering. And then it dips a little in the back as well. So you've got kind of some little bare shoulders. And then this on the bottom. Look at that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Is
So
that top down or bottom up?
I believe this one is top down.
Okay.
Yes.
And I can show you that on the website as well. And all this, so I'm just doing searches is how I'm finding this really quickly, is I'm just going up to the little search icon here, and I just typed in the name of the pattern, and up it came.
Although
Oh,
it's
I
sold
gotta
out.
fix that. It is available. I have to fix that.
But yeah, so I loved the neckline on this, and that the rest of it is very simple. And then you've got this really fun lattice cabling here. You could even do the lattice cabling in a different color if you wanted. So let's say you did this part in a really fun variegated color, and then you chose one lighter color because you want to be able to see these beautiful stitches. So if you were to choose a lighter color out of your variegated for your body color and did your cabling in that, that would really, really nice.
You can always finish the sleeve with that pattern.
Yes, I was just about to say, because I always like to complicate things, you could easily add that to here. I think there's some decreasing, so your edge might be a little funky, but or you could just ignore the decreasing there at the edge and have your nice little lattice cabling.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Just to show you sometimes how quickly I get to work. You can now buy it on our website.
All right, this one, it's like a super fancy sweatshirt.
Oh, is this the Boberg?
Yes. Actually, I'll leave that up for now. What's it? Yes, this is the Boberg. And I actually had it styled. I thought this was really fun. So I took our little Rise and Run cowl, and so it's got this, Boberg has this beautiful high collar. So, you know, obviously standard way, you can wear it like this if you want. And these are done in separate pieces. So the back does come up a bit and the neck goes down a bit more. And so you've got this shawl collar, cowl collar. So that's really nice. But, or you can flip it up, keep the back of your neck warm. I also put the Rise and Run back there and kind of flipped the collar over it. So it kind of sits underneath. Fun little peekaboo in the back. Collar keeps it in place, a little extra warmth, little pop of fun. But this piece really is super cozy, and it makes you think of like, ooh, I'm gonna just lounge around my house in this all day long. But, and it's got a great little scalloped edge. I should just angle this down more. There we go. See these edges. It's got a nice little peekaboo split there. The back edge dips a bit more and curves a touch. Oh, yeah, that's as far as it goes, sorry. And it's done in reverse stockinette, but it's got really nice shaping, and it's got these design elements where you've got these exposed seams that give it this like kind of architectural structure that make it stand out. And it almost seems counterintuitive, you know, to see the seams. You're like, well, that can't be right. But it in a way, because the ways exposed seams tend to be done in fashion, is that they elevate it to this kind of like, no, we know what we're doing. We're putting the seams on the outside. And you're like, oh, wait, yeah, actually, that's really cool. And somehow it works. Like I said, it's just this extra line. I think especially in this pale gray color, where you've got these lines, these big divides. And it just gives this piece so much structure for being so simple. And very cozy. You've got all this nice room in your sleeves and in the body itself. So it's clean lines, simple details, some curves where it's nice along the edge and then in the shoulders, and makes a big impact. So this very, very simple piece, this all of a sudden elevated sweatshirt. I really like this piece.
So the other person who really likes this is Chris. This is one of her favorite designs. She's nodding rather than speaking. I don't know why.
So yeah, you can really see there better than on my awkward little mannequin here, sorry. But you can see that back dip where it goes in the back, and it's just this very subtle curve. The way also it's done in this reverse stockinette, so it curves to the inside rather than curling up on the outside, I think is also part of it. It's like a little tulip, you know, those little tulip dresses. Here's your little tulip pullover. And that little tiny split on the side, and the front's a little higher, and that very cozy collar. I think this
it's Julie Hoover, if you folks are familiar with her as a designer. That's who did this.
Yeah. And I'm always a sucker for dolman sleeves. That was the other part of it. Yeah, all that room for your arms. So yeah, you can lounge around your house all day in this. You could
Quick
also
question.
Yes.
I'm sorry. For those of us who don't like those dolman sleeves, would it be hard to adjust? Yeah, I'm sturdy anyways, and that I'm afraid would make me look even more sturdier built.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't be too difficult, would it, to carry that the front of it up higher and start the sleeve a little later?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if you're, I forgot to double check. If it's worked from the bottom up, or even I guess if it's worked from the top down, but I suspect it's worked from the bottom up because we've got short rows here to give our nice slant on the sleeves.
Yes, ma'am.
So you probably could take it up a little bit more.
Mhm.
That is a very common way to deal with very boxy open pieces, is to make the sleeves very skinny to kind of balance that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris is nodding again rather than speaking.
Well, at least I got it right. Thank you for this, the backup.
She knitted that piece for herself a few years ago, actually.
Cool. Yeah, so I don't think, you know, I don't want to tell you exactly how you would modify it, but yes, it is doable.
No, it's a beautiful piece, and I would love to be able to make it. I just can't see that 18-inch armpit looking attractive on me.
See, and then I'm in the other camp where whether or not it looks good, if I like it, if it's comfortable, I'm gonna go for it. I'm quite broad chested, and I don't really need to be adding anything up here, but
Right. Right. Okay. Well, thank you.
yes.
So one of the things you can do if you're altering this to make it sized for what you want is this pattern comes with a dimension schematics, so that they'll tell you, knit, this many rows or this many inches. And what you can do is redo the schematic so that you have the dimensions you want. So to Belle's point, if you're looking at reducing the sleeve size, what you would exactly pull it up, and instead of
So
the bottom being, knit to your, have 4.5 inches, you would knit to you have 3.5.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
a lot of times when I'm changing patterns, I take a sweater or a garment that I already have, even if it's a store-bought one, measure the dimensions of that, and then resize the pattern to fit the garment you like.
Sorry. Good tip. Thank you.
Mhm. So yeah, you could literally just, find the sleeve circumference you'd be comfortable with, take that out of, take the difference out of the sleeve, and then just
Go from there.
add that to your body bit. Yeah.
And because this is just a front and a back piece, it's much easier to do this than if you have a pattern that has set-in sleeves.
Yes. Yes.
And there was a question asked on chat, how many skeins? Here's an easy one to remember. It comes in sizes from 35 to 37 up to 47, 49. The 35, 37 takes 6 skeins. Everything else takes 7. So
Really, that's not bad at all.
no, not at all.
That's not bad at all.
So, even with the new pricing, if you make the largest one, you're still at what, like $150. So
The other piece you can do with this, because it's such a flexible pattern, if that collar shawl concept is too big and baggy, you just make it 1 inch deep versus I think it's 7 inches in the
Right.
pattern.
Well,
And-
you could always do a standard stockinette, so like for about 1 inch, and you get that roll, so you get that
Yes.
rolled collared edge.
Yep.
Or gosh, even if you do, to kind of balance with the exposed seams, that kind of chunky line work,
Yep.
if you were to do a applied I-cord around
Yep.
the neck edge,
Yep.
would be really nice as well.
Okay, so here's the other secret about this pattern. It's a reverse stocking net, which means the outside looks like a garter stitch.
Yeah.
You can wear it inside out if you want as well. And then the stocking net side comes on the outside and there's no seams. So,
Yeah.
so it's
this
really
is-
kind of
this
fun.
is that pearl side, which
Yeah,
is
there-
reverse stockinette. So this is all the pearls. And then here's what we think of as standard stockinette. Is
Yeah,
on the
and- Right, and it's reversible because the seaming is done on the outside, so the inside looks lovely.
Okay. So this might be my favorite piece.
oh yeah.
I love this one. So Maxima is already squishy, and then they doubled it and made a little pullover and named it Mansard. And it's super cute, very fun. I was tempted to do kits for these just because I like to play with color, but I didn't, because that's an endless thing. But I love this piece. The pattern itself comes with, let me put this on this mannequin here. It comes with 2 variations for this one pattern. The first variation is a standard pullover, meaning that your bottom will be, just a ribbed bottom. Everything else is the same. This one has this little split. Look how cute that is. And this very simple eyelet detail. So it's almost like a mildly cropped tunic, which I kind of like. It's this great little popover piece. You just put it on top of everything. I would think especially, if you had a flowy shirt or you're wearing a dress, this would work really well. And part of it is because of this split on the side. Works really well. So it's almost like a little bit more of a tailored poncho. It has short rows in the back to raise up the neckline. So the back of the neck sits a little bit more, a little higher than the front of the neck. Is done top down, very simple. Again, we've got these dolman sleeves. I think you could easily modify this because it is a top down raglan sweater. You would just kind of stop your increases, although that would change your body. This one might be a little trickier to modify, because we've got this great big dip, which gives us the width of our piece and then also makes our sleeves nice and loose. Again, like I said, I don't mind that. Whether or not it looks good on me, I'm going to be cozy.
That's
Well,
right.
it's all about me. It's all about me. So it's just plump and lush and cozy. Here's another really fun, super simple way to play with colors, because you're just holding them two together. Excuse me. So then it's also a very quick knit. It's, even though it's that plumpy, it's not heavy. At least I don't think of it as super heavy, because it is, again, it's that single ply. So there's a lot of loft and air in it still. It's not this dense plied yarn. So, you know, you'll feel cozy and you'll feel it on. It's not going to be weightless, but I don't think you'll find it heavy like you might assume. So there's the other version, which is just a straight pullover. You've got your nice deep ribbed bottom. Kind of matches the length of the long ribbed sleeves. There you go. Yeah, exactly that. And both of these versions are in the one pattern, so you can choose afterwards. You can make both. And you can see even here, you know, how vastly different one looks than the other. This blue and purpley and green one, they used one solid color and one variegated color. And they just kind of pulled out one of the colors from the variegate into their second solid color.
You know, I just realized, isn't this the same designer as the other pieces? No, that was Sarah Solomon versus Sarah Chapman. That's right.
I was gonna say, do I have do I have a secret love that I don't even know about? Fangirling over her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Manos has some great designers. They've got some great designs. I really liked all these Manos ones or these Maxima ones. For all these kind of simple, cozy looks, you know, this, again, it almost sounds like it's an elevated sweatshirt, because you've got that coziness of a sweatshirt where you just throw it on and you're like, this is great, this is good. But then it's beautiful because it's done in the Maxima. It's a high quality wool. It's got details that make it look like you didn't just roll off the couch to go to the grocery market.
You know what? We're thinking it actually is the same designer. We think she got married.
Oh. Well, I like her style.
Apparently, that's great, and they're beautiful.
We should see if we can be friends with her.
That's right.
So yes, I want to make this one. It's Maxima. You can make it out of any worsted weight. So you could do it out of the Alegria Grande if you wanted. If you did want to play with applied yarn, but there's so many colors in Maxima to have fun with that I think this is a really neat piece. Like I said, doubled, so it'll go quick. You can make 2 of them super fast.
That's right. Sweater in an evening. Okay, maybe.
That's right. That's right. You know, maybe 3 evenings, tops.
That's right.
Because you're going to love it so much and you're going to be so excited about it. You're just going to be knitting away and it'll be done before you know it. So yeah, I love this one. This one's my favorite. We're friends. This is my friend Manser.
Yeah.
So that is Maxima. You can do anything with it. We've got this great little hat here. We had another hat here. So this is, you know, your standard. Here's where your variegate comes in and does cool color play for you. You get a nice little palm. This one, this was actually initially made out of Gloria. Gloria was a worsted weight. They discontinued this yarn. But you could make this out of Maxima as well and do a contrast color along here. That's really a fun piece. This is an Odyssey shawl by Joji Locatelli, done in 3 colors of Maxima. And actually it was our rep who modified this shawl to make it out of Maxima for us. And so it's a really nice pattern. Got some fun details. Another way to just, you know, pick 3 fun colors and go for it.
Yeah, it's just a great with that huge color range with, you know, some 70 or 80 colors.
It's like 1,000 colors.
It is about 1,000 colors. Yeah, you could just, you know, it's one of those, it's the answer to an awful lot of questions.
Oh, wait, there's more. I always love this one. People come along and they squeeze this scarf.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
This is another one where it's held double. This was held double with the same color. Kathy, who used to work here, designed this scarf. It's nice and stretchy, plumpy, very long. It's made with 3 skeins of Maxima. Woo! So this big piece, 3 skeins doubled. This is called Emmy's scarf.
That's right. Yeah,
Emmy's scarf.
she designed it and knitted it for a young woman she knew who was going to college, who was from California and going to college in a very cold place.
Yeah, she needed a cushy scarf.
And her name was Emmy.
Yeah.
So she made that piece for her.
And then these were the mitts, and there's a hat that goes with it as well. We did a class on these recently. This is the Hatfield pattern.
Right, that was our class. That's right.
Yeah, and these are done, this ribbing, really cool ribbing, is done, it's a twisted stitch ribbing. So it gives it, it kind of stands out a bit more. For contrast, we showed it in standard ribbing. So you can see how it looks, you know, still looks nice. Looks like your standard flat ribbing. The twisted stitch makes it, maybe it's a little hard to see in here, but it does make it stand out a bit more. It's nice. And it's a very simple, easy cable pattern. It's also reflected on the hat, which I can't seem to find the hat at the moment. But there's a matching hat that goes with it. Cute little mitt set. Lovely. Maxima. Squishy.
And that's called, and I'll put that in here, the Hatfield.
And I think that's it. Any questions? This is a great yarn. You can't go wrong with Maxima. Unless you're, you know, want to throw it in the washer and the dryer. And that's gonna go wrong.
Belle, what are the 2 colors on the mansard? What are those 2 colors?
I believe one is peach tree and one is goji berry.
Are they both the tonal ones?
Yes, actually it's goji berry and apricot are this particular model.
Mhm.
And yes, and they're the semi-solids.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and I think most of these sizes, maybe only the last 2 really large ones, take 4 skeins each. Every other size, it's just 3 skeins, so total of 6 skeins to make this, 3 skeins of each color. I think it's the last 2 sizes that are 4 skeins of each color.
Got it.
Belle, on that first hat that you showed us, what was the colorway for that yarn?
This one?
Yeah, because the
Nantucket.
colors are pooled so differently. Oh,
Yeah,
Nantucket.
isn't that
Okay.
fun? Isn't that fun? Yeah, this is.
Yes, I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think this hat often stops people and strikes them because of the pooling that happened here. And it's really kind of fun.
Great.
We planned that, of course.
Of course, of course, of course.
I love it.
And one of the things I should say, because a lot of times folks, when it comes to pooling or flashing, it depends on how it goes, how people describe it. On big garment pieces, sometimes folks don't like this. Some people like it as like a, you know, an artsy splash. Some folks don't. One of the ways to mitigate pooling or flashing is to alternate your skeins. So if you do 1 or 2 rows in one skein and 1 or 2 rows in another skein, especially if you're to start at like alternate ends of the skeins, you will mitigate some of this very obvious pooling and flashing, and you'll get more of this kind of look.
I love the pooling. Thank you.
I think it's fun. I think it can be really neat in pieces, and depending on what you're doing. Yeah.
What was the name of that hat?
The name of this hat is Basic Beanie. It's a free pattern. Super basic beanie.
It's one of our patterns.
Yeah, you've got a nice little rib here. Yes, this would work perfect for your chemo hats, Linda,
Okay.
including the palm. You gotta have the palm.
Okay.
So yeah, that is Maxima. It feels like it's, more to say about it because it's a really nice yarn.
It is. It is. Any other questions, comments? Great job, Belle, as
Yeah.
always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's fabulous.